Is it weird that I already
week-
miss you?
What is it?
Is it weird that I already miss you?
What?
I said, is it weird that I already miss
It
you?
is a little weird.
Is it weird?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I don't know.
It's a little weird.
We had a good time this weekend.
We spent a lot of time together. This week is like dragged, dude.
Man, that was your nice way of being like, I'm done with you for a while. I'm good. I don't need any more of you in my life. Thanks, Josh.
No, that's not that. It's not you, it's me.
It's not a you problem. It's a me problem.
It's a me problem for sure.
No.
Sometimes I just like to, be on my own for a little bit.
Okay. I'll remember that.
Hi, I'm Nick,
And I'm Josh.
and this is the PUDs Podcast.
What's up, dude?
What's going on, man? Long time no see.
I know, long time no see. We're catching up after our weekend up north for full conditions. I think I've been cold all day. I went running in the rain, like right before I moved in, I guess. I kind of made it like halfway through, and then the heavens just opened up, and it's like 45 degrees and rainy, and I did bundle up and stuff, but it's still, I feel like I just got to chill in my bones. I need to like sit by a fire for like 3 hours or take a hot shower maybe after this and try to warm up.
Yeah.
I'd rather
sure,
it was
dude.
snowing when it gets like that.
For sure. I just have felt like this week is like ticking forever. And I think because last week was like a short week at work. So this week just feels like it's going forever.
Both of us are lucky to have Veterans Day off.
Yeah.
I know not a lot of people get that. Financial services or government type of things, you end up getting it still, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel you with that. It feels like it's just like literally, this is a true story too. I had to reschedule a meeting on Tuesday for some of my teammates and stuff, and I was saying it was tomorrow. I rescheduled it for Thursday, and I was saying to people, "Oh, I'm like, when we meet tomorrow," and people are like, "That's in 2 days, Nick. That's not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday." And I'm like, "You're right. I'm sorry." But I said it to like 3 different people in chat, and they're like, "We're not meeting today." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "What? I scheduled it for tomorrow, and it's Thursday." I'm like, "No, it's only Tuesday."
No.
Hate when that happens.
That's the worst. It's absolutely the worst, dude. It just like puts a damper on your whole day. Yeah. And the cool thing is though, next week we got a short week. So
Yeah,
we got Thanksgiving next week.
good old Turkey Day coming up.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah,
You making the turkey again this year?
yeah, I've got the turkey, and I'll be doing the stuffing. And yeah, I'm pretty pumped. I'm trying out Rainbow Turkey Farm, which is either in Rehoboth or Seekonk. I should find out. I think it is Rehoboth. Sponsor the podcast. Maybe if their turkey's good, they can sponsor. But yeah, switching it up from Bellwing. I just get a weird deja vu moment, probably for me talking about Bellwing Turkey Farm last year when we were podcasting. That was strange. But yeah, gonna try one of their big guys. Like we have a good amount of people, so around like a 27-pound turkey, something like that.
Whoa.
So yeah.
Whoa! I didn't know you were getting a turkey.
Oh
like
no,
that, dude! That's crazy.
Oh yeah, we always get. I mean, I keep track of my birds, but usually every year I do like 26 to 28 pounds, and we pretty much go through it. Yeah, I mean, even we didn't think we were gonna have as many people as normal this year, but that shifted slightly. So I think we only got like 2 or 3 less people, and usually we've got like around, I don't know, like a dozen. So all good eaters.
That is a hefty turkey, dude.
Yeah, gonna make a killer turkey soup later. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
But yeah, man.
You brine your turkeys, right?
Yep. Yeah, I've done that kind of as the old adage, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of deal. But especially when you're having people to your house and making the turkey. But yeah, usually I brine it with sort of a brine spice. I don't know what you'd say. It's just a mix of different spices, but you can pick it up sort of at a market or whatever. This one I picked up when we were in Keene Valley in the Adirondacks. True story. Nice. So it's brine from a little local general store up there. But yeah, usually the day before you brine it, and then throw it in the oven that morning. I do season it and fill it with some like veggies and apples and things like that. Got to fill that cavity so it doesn't dry out from the inside. Not to get too much.
Yeah, I gotta start doing that.
Yeah, you don't do that. Though I mean, no. I mean, do you want to go into your turkey methodology? I know you got a new device this year too that you're excited to use for your turkey.
Speaking of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, I'm a man that loves to
institute
change.
You want to break it.
I like to break it, and then hope I don't have to fix it later. Yeah, so I got a oilless turkey fryer. So it's basically an outdoor air fryer. for the turkey this year, and I'm going to really give that a go. And usually every year up to this point, I've made the turkey for my family for the past, I want to say like 7 years, maybe like right around when me and Melissa got married.
You're a turkey veteran.
Yeah, I'm a turkey veteran, but I've always done it the way that my father did it, and he used like the bag method, so which was good. I mean, it was fine. You got a nice moist turkey every year. You really didn't have to worry too much about it, but I like a nice crisp turkey skin, or chicken skin, whatever. Like, so I really wanted to try this. I've always wanted to deep fry a turkey, but I don't think everybody in my household would have eaten or enjoyed a deep fried turkey, so I went for the healthy in the middle option.
Yeah, that's some solid ground to stand on.
Yeah.
Is there any difference in cooking time? Do you know? I know you experimented with a chicken.
Yep, I experimented yesterday with a chicken, and that turned out fantastic. It's about 15 minutes a pound, so I don't know. Okay. I don't really remember what the difference was. So it's only I got a 16-pound turkey, almost 16-pound turkey.
My turkey could eat your turkey.
Yeah, your turkey could eat. You can stuff my turkey inside your turkey's cavity, dude.
Your turkey. A Richard Duck and a turkey.
That's a turkey.
Don't ever say stuff my turkey in your cavity ever again, or whatever you just said. Sounded very strange. I don't want you stuffing anything in any of my cavities ever.
Clip that.
Thanks.
Clip that. Save that for later. Man.
Anyways.
Yeah, so I got a generous 16-pound turkey, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. 15 minutes a pound. So, yeah, 3-4 hours. Ought to do it.
Cool. Yeah, I usually I just do mine in the oven. Like I said, I'll put some stuff in the cavity to keep it moist. But
keep it moist.
I do usually put like sort of like parchment paper, like baking paper over it to like kind of wrap it. And then at the end I just excuse me, take the wrapping off and let it crisp up. So that's kind of been my method the last few years. Probably go with it again. Keep it going.
Yeah. I kind of just want an excuse to just hang out outside and like drink beers on Thanksgiving.
That's solid. You can also do that inside. But
I don't want to do it inside. Yeah. I kind of want to do it outside.
I gotta make sure I hydrate pre any Thanksgiving beers, because Ash and I are running the turkey trot. The Newman Turkey Trot at the Seekonk YMCA in the morning again. And it looks like it's going to be chilly. I looked at the extended, but I feel like every year it's always like really cold running that race. And it's definitely more than a 10K. I just know from the course. I think there's like 0.1 or 0.2 longer than that. Imposters. But anyways, it's always fun.
Yeah, man, that's cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have Melissa's parents and sister and
awesome.
Her husband come over, and yeah. We're going to do it a little earlier this year, really. Well, invite everybody over a little earlier to kind of just really enjoy the day. So it should be good, man.
Yeah, what time do you guys usually eat around?
In the past, we've been eating like later, like maybe like 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah. That's almost like well, I guess it can be Thanksgiving dinner. We've always done more of like a lunch, like 1 o'clock sort of thing, 1:30. You do have to start that turkey early, though. That's the only downside.
Yeah, that's all right.
Meme Claire will be supervising with Franklin while we're at the road race for a brief period. But otherwise, I'll be watching it.
Yeah. So she's going to have to watch the turkey while you're running, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, not that it's going to do anything. It's not like it's going to bust out of the oven or anything. Theoretically, it should be pretty smooth.
You'd think so, dude. But Jeremiah, like, for some reason last night, like, almost set my house on fire.
What?
He was like, he's knows how to do it, and he's used the microwave and like been able to pop popcorn for like a while now. But for some reason last night something went terribly wrong. So now my entire house smells like burnt popcorn, dude.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And he brought Melissa the bag like as the bag was like on fire. He's like,
he just put it in too long?
I don't know. I don't know if he kept hitting the button or if he put it on the wrong side. You know how like if you put it on the wrong side, like it won't really pop, and it just like sizzles and burns.
Yeah, maybe that happened. I was gonna say, or maybe does it have like a popcorn button on your microwave? Like maybe you hit like baked potato instead.
Yeah, maybe he might
vaporized it. Yeah, that burnt popcorn smell is the thing. It's got an aroma.
It's tough, and it just lingers, dude. It just hangs around. So I need some good like fixins being cooked on Thanksgiving to get rid of that stench.
Oh man.
You ready to get into the music moment?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So Nick's music moment is sponsored by Roots Coffee Roasters. You can find Roots Coffee Roasters at rootscoffeeroasters.us. If you log on there and you use promo code PUDS10, you can get 10% off of any order. They have whole bean. They have ground to your specification. So get on there, check them out. And part of the proceeds go to drilling wells in Asia, Africa, and South America. So Christmas time's coming. Grab your loved ones some coffees.
Right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. It's crazy. Grab some coffee for the people you care about. Grab some coffee for your Christmas parties. Local, small batch roasted. So check them out. That's Root Coffee Roasters at rootscoffeeroasters.us and promo code PUDS10 for 10% off your order.
And just remember, nothing says I love you at Christmas like a bag of caffeinated beans.
Like a bag of beans.
Like a bag of beans. Okay, so tonight for Nick's music moment, I actually was listening to this album running today, and it came back to me because I was just thinking I wanted a little something different to throw up here for the music moment tonight. So the album is Saturdays Equals Youth by the French electronic band M83, and this came out in 2008. So Saturdays Equal Youth is the 5th studio album by the French band. It's basically it's frontline, or I guess the frontman of the band is a dude named Anthony Gonzalez, who's also as I said, they're French, but I think it's funny to say they're a French band because really it's mostly I think just one guy that sort of does everything and he collaborates with other musicians. But in any event, some of the singles off this album are Colors, Graveyard Girl, Kim and Jesse, and We Own the Sky. Kim and Jesse I think was the first song I ever heard by M83, and I think if you like music, you'd probably like this song. It's just got a super catchy, like I'm going to go back to that synth pop, but it's got a lot of different sort of 1980s new wave kind of
synthy pop
vibes going on. Except it was like mixed and produced like much more recently, so it's a little bit better sounding. I think 80s music for some reason seems like they just didn't produce a lot of it very well. It always sounds like it's like under a film or something. It's very weird. I think of like 80s U2 or things like that, or different bands. But great album, I think, from front to back. You've got those 4 really solid songs on it. In addition to this, like I think I couldn't really say there's a bad track on the thing. Like I definitely enjoy listening to the whole thing. I listened to the whole thing today. I would describe them, they call them, and even online, like I always look at the bios and stuff, and they're kind of labeled as an electronic band, but there's definitely a lot more stuff going on than just like, they're not just like a ska kind of band. Like they're very like progressive. There's a decent amount of guitar like all over this. Like I was mentioning, a ton of synths, a lot of different beats going on. There's definitely some almost sort of like EDM type things going on where there's like breakdowns and sort of maybe beats sort of fading into other beats. It's just really interesting. I haven't listened to as much of their earlier stuff, but I did sort of look up a little bit of history. It kind of goes back to 2001, where Anthony Gonzalez was in college, and he was starting to sort of make some of his own music. He actually created their first album that was just called M83, and it was an 8-track record. And the name M83 actually comes from the Messier 83 galaxy, which is, I guess, a galaxy that was discovered back, it looked like in the 1790s or something. So it's an old galaxy. Exactly why he picked that galaxy, I didn't know. So if you happen to know, reach out. I didn't get that far down the Wikipedia rabbit hole tonight before we got on, but great album. I think Kim and Jesse, like just the sort of synthy riff that goes on in that is just, it's something special. It'll stick in your head for days on end. If you do happen to check it out, I guarantee you you'll enjoy it and you'll be wanting to play it every chance you get. And I do need to go back and listen to some of their back catalog. So I've got some work to do. I've only really listened to some of their newer records and that's it. But yeah, Saturdays Equal Youth by M83. Check it out. Do we have a Josh's Jazzy?
Yeah, I do have a Josh's Jazzy music moment. So, and we're going to get into this a little bit as we get into the main topic, but as we were hiking, as we were coming down, we kept giving you different ideas of things that you should perform. And
that you did.
We'll get into more of that after. But one of the bands or groups that came up was a group called Rehab. And it was actually a group that I really liked. And I think like I found them probably around 2012 or something like that. And they had been out for a little bit at that point. So they're like an American hip hop group, but they're very like country. So it's almost like a mix between like a little bit of country music and hip hop, a little bit of rock in there. So, and I kind of just always had felt like they were a little bit before their time. Like I don't think they really caught on. But I really enjoyed their music, and one album in particular was Graffiti the World. It was originally released in 2005, but they re-released it in 2008 through a different record label, and it was kind of their first look at like their new sound, because they're one of the main guys had left. Jason Brooks had left the album, left the group. So the group was made up of Danny Alexander and Jason Buford, Jason Brooks, and so they kind of broke up, re-released this album in 2008, and that's when I think they put out the song that basically anybody that's listened to them knows, which is the Bartender song. And this album that they re-released in 2008 has that on it. It has 1980, This Town, and it has this song on it called Red Water that's not really a hip-hop. It's more, this guy really kind of shows his singing chops in that song, and it was very interesting because it's a song that tells a story. It tells like a sad story, and he really like sings throughout it. So it's really cool. But yeah, I really fell in love with this band for whatever reason, but I really enjoyed them, and yeah, so check them out, Rehab.
I did want to mention too, to just tap off because it was a music related thing, but you were suggesting all types of songs on the way down, you, Paul and Deanna. But we also were all singing the songs. Yeah. So if you happen to be on North and Middle Sugarloaf last Saturday, the 16th, and you heard people singing, let's see, like we had REM going at one point. We had a little Crash Test Dummies. That was kind of a deep pull right there. You guys figured out that Definitely Rehab song you were singing. Yeah. Oh yeah, Backstreet Boys. That was going for a while. That was spinning for like a solid, but just the same part over and over again.
Oh yeah. That was good stuff. What a way to make your way down a mountain.
Yeah, but if you heard songs echoing and you were up there, it was us.
Us.
I'm sorry if we disturbed your hike in any way. We were having a fun time, to say the least.
Good stuff.
All right.
Good stuff.
Want to get into the main topic and we can talk about this?
Let's do it, brother.
All right, sweet. Okay, so for tonight's main topic, we're simply going to talk about our great weekend we had up north, primarily to do the Full Conditions event. And I guess the proverbial cat is out of the bag that I was opening up, and me and Stomp played some songs together. So that was super fun. And thanks again, Stomp and Mike, for allowing me to help out and be part of the event. It was a pleasure playing there. I had a bunch of fun. I think I played for like an hour and a half or so. I ran through a bunch of songs, a hefty list of cover songs before me and Stomp started playing together. And it was a blast. Mike and Stomp did a great job at the event, and just wanted to say thanks again. But
you were an absolute machine. We'll get into it.
I'm like, I don't want to jump the gun too much. We'll save a little bit for talking about it. I just wanted to say my heartfelt thanks. Yeah. So I'd reached out to Josh a while ago about going up and hanging out for the weekend, since we don't get to go up and just bro it out, as people were telling us for the weekend that often. Josh has 2 kids. I have a kid. And we don't get out together too often, usually just time limiting factors or also just other schedules and stuff and being busy. So I kind of reached out and I was like, hey, would you want to hang out for the weekend? And I figured you'd be cool to meet people, and you accepted. Yeah.
It took me a while to commit to, because I think
it did.
I have this problem of like, oh yeah, Nick invited me to that thing. And then I just never think about it again until like the thing is almost happening.
Yeah, I was getting pretty close. I think we were like 3 weeks out or 4 weeks, and I was like, "So, are you gonna go up? You want to hang out?"
So, and that's a me thing. It had nothing to do. I definitely wanted to do it. I just like almost immediately forgot that you had asked me as soon as I stepped back upstairs. Life hits you, dude. I walk back up there. There's diapers everywhere. The baby's doing whatever. Jeremiah's like burning down the house. So it's
Jeremiah's trying to cook popcorn.
Yeah, things happen.
No, it's all good.
I was glad to go. I was very glad to be invited, like you said before, by the SLASR guys. Very thankful to be invited to that. I definitely expected to be pulled up on stage, but and talk with those guys, but that's another conversation for another day with them. But yeah, man, it was great. It's been a while. You and I haven't just hung out, just the two of us, in a long time, so it was definitely overdue.
Yeah, it was a blast. So as any good trip up to New Hampshire should begin with, I was looking for something to hike before we actually went to Rek Lis. We had to get there around like 2:30 or something, just so I could set up and get my guitar ready and everything. But I know Rek Lis was doing sort of a little event. It sounded like they had like hot chocolate and stuff at Bald Mountain. So that's cool that they did that. But we're thinking, I think we're going to do more of our own thing. And coincidentally, I'd just been sort of talking back and forth with friend of the podcast, Paul, over Instagram, and he was mentioning that him and his friend Deanna were looking to maybe do like the Osceolas or East Osceola before that, or at some point they were up for the weekend staying around Littleton. And he's like, hey, I think we're going to check out North and Middle Sugarloaf. And I was absolutely eyeing the same thing to do with Josh, since it was close to where we were staying and where we we're going in Bethlehem. And FYI too, if you're looking, Middle Sugarloaf is actually the 52 with a view. It is technically the town of Bethlehem, or it's in Twin Mountain, but there's actually 2 Sugarloafs. So just know that we're not talking about the one that's up in Nash Stream Forest, which the road to it's probably already closed. There's actually 2 different peaks on the 52 with a view list called Sugarloaf. So yeah, we headed up and met them. I think it was probably around maybe 9:30 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super cool. I haven't hiked with Paul in a bit. Had done the Sandwich Range Traverse with him and hiked the Alzheimer's hike with him to Galehead a while back over the summer. And we definitely been keeping in touch. And yeah, it was cool to meet Deanna too. I haven't met his new friend. So they're both super, super nice. Or I should say Deanna was super nice. I already know Paul was super nice. Not that I doubted that someone he would be with wouldn't be nice. But it was cool to meet them in the parking lot. And we kind of headed up to do the Sugarloafs and head up north first and over to Middle. And yeah, it was I don't know if it was cool and cloudy. It wasn't as cold as I expected it to be. And Josh is probably going to gripe right now about how you take too many layers. Okay.
First of all, first things first. We had to leave at 6 to get there for 9. So I was already
well, we didn't have, I wanted to go hiking first. And I wanted to take you hiking.
No, it was great. No, it was good. It was good. I was I was a little tired already, but it's all right. And that was my first time meeting Paul and Deanna, and they were awesome, man. They were great, very gracious hiking partners, especially
a lot of fun
throughout this conversation of me trying to drag myself up that mountain. But the first thing, the way I'm going to start this off by, Nick had told me that this hike was going to be very easy, or not very easy, but definitely said it wasn't going to be bad at all. And
it's all perspective.
And that it was going to be cold and all these things that I needed to pack. So I packed so many layers. I had so many layers on already. And I think we got about 3 minutes into the hike and I was sweating.
Shedding layers.
Didn't
last too long. It was probably like upper 30s, something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad though. And Zealand Road isn't closed yet, so we didn't have to road walk, which is nice.
Yeah, that was nice. But yeah, we make our way like up the trailhead, and we start off. There's that little stream. I'm like, oh yeah, it's pretty flat. I'm like, oh, this isn't too bad. Nick's like, oh, is the pace okay? And I'm like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. I'm good. Keep going. And then it like slowly, like definitely like hits an incline, and then that incline gets more and more steep. And to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm trying to keep up with you now. And then I have to stop a couple times and like catch my breath. I'm like sweating.
Yeah, it hits you. It hits you. I mean, I didn't stat drop yet, but North and Middle Sugarloaf is 3.4 miles and about 1,100 feet of elevation gain. That being said, like to where Josh was just describing, I think the steepest part of the entire little loop there, or I guess sort of out and backs, is going up to that T junction where you've got north on your right and you've got middle on your left. Like it gains pretty good. And I did want to mention just a funny moment of I think I'd shared a picture, but Paul was insistent on shimmying through a crack in a very large glacial boulder. There's some huge boulders, and actually I realized looking at some pictures as I was editing last night that you can actually see that boulder in the woods, like below North Sugarloaf, which is actually kind of cool. Like I was looking at it, I'm like, that's definitely the same boulder. You can sort of see the path.
That's pretty sick.
But anyways, that's the stats. I'll let you continue from Josh's eyes this time.
Yeah, we get past those boulders, dude, and like we get about like I don't even know, maybe a majority of the way up, like 90% of the way up before that T junction, and I'm like, I can't breathe, dude. We get to this little spot, and we'd already had stopped twice, and I'm like, it's like going through my head, like, damn, I'm holding these people back. Like, this is not good.
We're chilling.
I thought I could do this. Like, I don't know if I could do this. And I'm like, I don't know. And then you and Deanna were like, we're almost there. Like, once you get to the T, like, it's going to be fine. We're almost there. And I'm like, all right, let me really catch myself and like make this push. And then, yeah, we pushed and got to the T, and then after that, it was like a breeze. Like, I'll tell you one thing though, going out and going from the couch to hiking, that was like very humbling for me. Like, I know we talk about hiking a lot on this podcast, and to go from nothing, basically no real like physical challenges, to doing that. Yeah, it was tough, dude, and I really didn't expect it to be as tough as it was, especially at the beginning. So it was very humbling, but it definitely showed, man, like there's a lot that goes into it. You gotta be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, you did well too. I think you kind of found your pace as we went along. Yeah. And kind of got in the groove. But yeah, we headed towards north first, which doesn't have as good outlooks as middle. Middle is the 52 of the view peak, but north has great views in its own right as well. And you do descend a little bit. There's kind of a pointless up and down, which everybody's making jokes of because PUDs Podcast, we're with PUDs guys. Pointless up and down. It's appropriate that we're hiking the trail with them. But and by everybody, I just mean Paul and Deanna, really. Yeah. It's not like there's a crowd of people or anything. We did meet some listeners in the parking lot. That was cool.
That was cool.
But yeah, I made up to North Sugarloaf, and I'm actually kind of glad. Shout out to Paul for doing sort of his research with, it sounds like just on Instagram and the socials, a little bit of watching videos on the hike. I mean, I had read the guide and I kind of look at it, but I've been up there, I don't know, like 6 or 7 times probably now. So I just kind of go up there. And there's actually this really cool ledge off north that you can kind of go. It's almost like a little Bond Cliff kind of ledge, like looking out. There is a little, I think Paul called it like a chasm of doom. it's not really that big or something that you gotta hop across or kind of just maneuver across to get out there. But great views from north, from a couple different areas. Looking out, mainly like when you get towards the summit, you can see sort of just the presidential range, which unfortunately was clouded. There was a pretty high cloud ceiling. It's like you just couldn't see the tops of like Mount Washington and Jefferson, etc. You could sort of see from Monroe on down across the range, and visibility was like pretty far. That being said, despite the cloud ceiling, like it was super dry, so you could see quite distant. And after you poked around in those initial sort of, I guess, lookouts, if you keep looking to the right where you turn off, there's a really well-defined path, and that actually takes you out to a giant ledge that's sort of on the southern side of the summit. And you actually walk by the base of that ledge when you're first sort of turning towards North Sugarloaf. And that has great views back to like Mount Hale. You can see Middle Sugarloaf. You can also see the Twins and into Vermont from that direction. And kind of looking across, you can see Agassiz in Bethlehem and kind of across that whole valley. And it was beautiful. And what did you think of the views when we popped up there?
Yeah, I thought the views were really good. Like, I know that you said that Middle has the better views, right? But I mean,
more open. But
I don't think it's I don't think it's that drastic of a difference. I thought it was. Yeah, that's basically the difference, right? Middle's way more open than it is on North. But I thought the views were great. It was definitely warmer there than it was when we get to Middle after. But no, I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. Like you said, a little bit of cloud cover. It didn't no rain or anything like that, so it was really nice to sit back and kind of just check it all out.
Yeah, and that's one thing we did get up there early, but I mean, even though like I had faith that you'd be able to do it in like a reasonable amount of time. But I definitely didn't want us to have to rush. Like it's one of those hikes where you want to go up there and like have time to like take in the views. And it was cool just chatting with Deanna and Paul like the whole time. Like we were just all joking around like the whole time. It was a blast. But yeah, I didn't want to have to rush through that. So to be able to sort of appreciate those views. And I also recently bought a full frame camera. So I've been messing with a Micro Four Thirds for you camera geeks out there that I've been using to take most of my my video and photo, which has been great. It's gotten me back into sort of taking photos with an actual camera. I still take a bunch with my iPhone and RAW as well. But really wanted to take the plunge for a full frame. So I had like a 24 millimeter and 50 millimeter prime lens with me. And I'll be sharing out photos probably at some point with the post. Not probably, definitely. But yeah, so it was cool to be able to take the time with that. And you guys were all like good subjects. I just kept sneaking around and taking pictures of people looking out at stuff and whatnot. But anyways, a brief aside, just want to mention because we were talking about sort of taking our time and stuff. Yeah,
no, those pictures came out great. I'm looking forward to you sharing them on the socials with the people.
Thanks, man. So we hung out on North we must have been up there for like probably 30, 40 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Like we were definitely just chilling. I think I had some water, maybe a snack, and then made our way back to the T-junction and made our way up to Middle. And nothing much notable. We saw a little bit of a trace of snow, but definitely didn't need any spikes. I'm sure that's going to change after this weekend. It looks like the whites are getting a dump in places.
There was definitely ice in a few spots.
Yeah, nothing that we couldn't step around though, which was kind of nice. Like we actually didn't bring any spikes with us because my kind of thought process was between trail reports and like if we see some, we should be able to walk around it. And I got out to Middle Sugarloaf, and you've got pretty much Middle's got like just way more open ledges. Like I'd say it's probably almost a 270 degree view. You do have to walk around to different areas. Yeah. And I know Josh was mentioning too, like North was pretty warm, but so Middle, the northern or northwestern side of Middle Sugarloaf, that's where that wind chill and everything that I was reading about was, because all of us opted, like we all poked around the corner and kind of got some pictures and saw the Twins, and again could look across to Bethlehem, and you actually could see like Stowe Ski Resort in Mount Mansfield in Vermont. So that it was super clear and really great visibility. You could actually make out the ski slopes with like your eyes. But yeah, it was nippy on that side of the mountain.
Definitely chilly. Definitely worth bringing the extra layers for that side for sure.
It was at this point that Josh was like, "Oh, that's why Nick asked me to take these extra layers."
That was it.
So he still didn't throw everything on, I don't think.
No. And then I met my boy.
Oh yeah.
If anybody knows me, they know I can strike up a conversation with damn near anybody.
He did.
So there was this
And he
couple
did.
that hiked up, and they were just hanging out, and the whole hike, Paul was just like saying just loud enough that people might be able to hear him. He's like, "Hey, these guys have a podcast."
Yeah, that was super funny.
So
like as they'd be like 6 feet past, and he's like, "They have a podcast."
Yeah. So those people came up and they were like looking, and I said, "Hey, by the way, we have a podcast." And they were like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, we have a podcast." They're like, "You do? What podcast?" I'm like, "Oh, PUDs Podcast." And they're like, "Oh yeah,
sounds great."
Basically, that's great. He was like, "You guys ever flown a helicopter over Mount Washington?"
True story. This is exactly how the conversation unfolded as well. Like that's literally the next thing he said.
And I was like,
or like,
no. He's like, I had the pleasure of doing that last weekend with my friend, and let me tell you, it was something else. It was incredible. And I'm like,
is it incredible with the fact that you did that, or that your friend owns a helicopter and you can just recreationally fly over Mount Washington?
I said, "Do you care to name drop who your friend is?"
Yeah.
And then he did, and I'm like, "Yeah, I have no idea who that is." Oh man, but no, he was nice. He's from Swampscott, Mass. Shout out to Swampscott.
Swampscott.
Yeah, right next to what is that over there? Salem? Yeah, right near Salem.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar.
Pretty cool. But I just thought it was hilarious because he had like regular running shoes and like these jogger sweats on and like a hoodie. And I'm like,
he was not. If you're listening to the podcast, thanks, but you didn't look like the most prepared person in the world to be going hiking. But you guys seem like you guys safe.
Seem cool.
It wasn't a crazy day or anything, but yeah, they literally had like sneakers and joggers and like a sweat. They didn't last up there that long.
No,
I did get a picture of them. So if you do listen to this and you're hearing this, then reach out. Yeah. I get a picture of them actually looking out on like the ledges at one point.
No, they were nice though.
Yeah,
they have a house. Maybe
cool.
they'll let us. They have a house on Winnipesaukee. Maybe they'll let us crash it one day.
Yeah, yeah. But, we had a blast hanging out up there. We all kind of bundled up and some water, some food, and I took a bunch of pictures. A lot of pictures looking towards Washington, and Deanna and Paul were good photo subjects, and so are you. Everybody's a good sport, so
sure.
I enjoyed, and I took. I think I ended up with like 200 pictures or something, which was just nuts to try to go through. I definitely just took too many. I took a lot on my phone too, but yeah, it was beautiful up there. I think Middle Sugarloaf has probably one of the best views looking towards the presidential range from like the west.
Oh yeah.
It's sort of unparalleled. You just have like the open valley. You can see all the way sort of to where 302 goes into Crawford Notch. And from the vantage point too, I kind of was figuring out in my head because you guys were like asking me what we were looking at. I'm just that guy. But I think you're actually sort of looking at the backside of the range across from you that eventually goes all the way up to sort of Tom Field Willie. Sort of the western side of Crawford Notch, and then you can see kind of past that to where the rest of the presidential range down to Lake Jackson's sort of poking out. And then obviously you've got sort of the Mount Washington sort of Omni Resort in that whole open valley area. You could see the COG Baseway, which I pointed out to Josh because it's on our sticker. Lori was super detailed with that. You can actually see the COG line, and you could see, I don't know what the peaks are that you could sort of see on I guess the left side of the presidentials when you're looking in front. It's not Owl's Head and Mount Martha. We could see that. It's probably just some other peak that people bushwhack and stuff. But a great view up there to say the least. And on the backside, I kind of mentioned you could see Vermont and all this, but you've just got like this mass that is like North Twin sort of in front of you. You could see the slide on it. We could barely make out South Twin, and then you can see or at least a sub peak of it, and then Mount Hale's kind of leading up to you with the trailless south peak of Sugarloaf is kind of sits right below it. But just a great view up there. I was mentioning to you how Mike and Lori got married up there too, and showed the spot that they were in, and
that was cool.
Yeah, it was a bunch of fun, and then we headed down and sang a bunch of songs.
Yeah, well, as we're heading down, we're like the hike's basically winding down, and we're kind of like now gearing up and ramping up for the festivities that are ahead of us for the Rek Lis Full Conditions event. So as we knew Nick would be performing and he didn't really tell anybody his playlist. So as we're going down, we just keep giving him suggestions.
You
of,
guys should play this.
Yeah, Nick, you
Play
should
I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, do the Backstreet Boys. Do Chumbawamba.
I'll get knocked down.
Yeah, so the whole time we're hiking down, Paul, Deanna, and I are like just giving him suggestions of things to sing. Sing Shaggy. Shaggy.
Like, we would totally come up if you sing Shaggy. Just do it. Like that.
Yeah, so
I'm like, they are podcasting. I'm not just playing for 5 hours, so
yeah.
get a limit. I will take the criticisms in for next time, whatever the next time is that I'm playing out somewhere and you guys are there. I will for sure take it into account.
Nice. But yeah, no, so we kind of made our way down. Basically did that the entire way down, like until we got back to the car.
Literally.
And then we got back to the parking lot, and I did it again, where I saw this random couple, and I was like, "Hey, we have a podcast." And the guy was like, "What podcast do you guys have?" And I was like, "Oh, the PUDs Podcast." And the lady like snaps around, and she's like, "Are you Nick?" And I'm like, "No, that guy's Nick. That's Nick."
You're like, "No, but I'm
like,
Josh."
super pumped. And Nick's
cool.
like, "Huh?"
Yeah, I'm like, what? I was just like changing my shirt or something.
You like getting the stickers out of your car, I think.
Yeah. I ended up giving them some stickers. I thought it was funny that, well, maybe it's not that funny, but that they actually were listeners, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And they thought that you were me.
Yeah, and they went to the Rek Lis event afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, yeah, you guys are going to be at the Rek Lis event." And we were like, "We sure are. We'll see you there." So
it's probably worth mentioning too that there was like maybe 3 or 4 cars when we got there, and then there was like 15 or 20 by the time we got down. So we missed the bubble of people. And apparently it's not. I shouldn't say apparently. I kind of was aware of it's hunting season, but we almost felt we had like bright clothing. It's not like we were like wearing like super dark camo clothing or anything. But I think we were the only people on trail that we saw that didn't have bright orange hats on, which I guess we're gonna have to grab some of those for that time of year.
Yeah, we didn't have to dodge any bullets, so we did okay.
That was good. We're here. Yeah, so after we got down, Josh and I got basically like a little verbo spot to stay in Bethlehem close to Rek Lis. So went over there, showered, tried to regroup. I feel like after, like I was saying, after being hiking in the cold and being up early, I think we both were like a little sluggish. I like could have just chilled there for a bit. But we made our way over to Rek Lis. And I'd set up all my stuff. Stomp was there getting everything ready for the SLASR event. I mean, I don't know. You're poking around. I was kind of just waiting for a couple more people to show up before I actually started playing. But I proceeded. I think I counted. I think I played like 21 songs, including the ones with Stomp. So it's a good amount of material. My guitar input was a little wonky on like 2 or 3 songs, but I tightened it down, and it worked. It was a fun spot to play there too.
You were an absolute machine. So at the brewery, there was the main like bar area with the nice setup.
Yeah, in the pint house.
Yeah, in the pint house for there was a nice setup for Nick to play, and then off of the backside there was the deck with the tent. Yeah, they had a nice white tent with like fans and heaters on the sides. Yeah, where the SLASR guys did their live episode. Yeah, so Nick was an absolute machine. He played like 45 songs without a break in between, and it was crazy. Like, it was like nonstop, dude. You were like one after the next, and I'm like, man, this guy's not even taking a breath. Like, he's not grabbing a sip of water or nothing. I had my water with me. I did say like a couple times, like, is everybody excited? And everybody was kind of just mingling. So yeah, we were just mingling. I didn't want to be like, thank you. I was like 100% working the room while you were doing that. Oh yeah, I saw you were just social, Mr. Social Butterfly, just hovering around. Yeah, I was working everybody the room. Pointing at me. Yeah, I definitely met. The cool thing about this event was I know it was a SLASR event, but there was a lot of fans of ours there, and New Hampshire hiking community people. Yeah, that community is really tight, dude. And I don't think I even realized how tight it was. I know we talk about it a lot, but that group is like a real tight group, and I just thought it was really cool that, like, I would guarantee you everybody that was in that room that night had done some type of hike that day, like, before that event, and then came and is now supporting SLASR and the initiatives that they were there to promote that night. Like, I thought all that was really cool, and like I said, it was very humbling to just meet some fans, people that really enjoy what it is that we're doing, and people that kind of know a lot about us just through this. So I thought that was really cool. I met another Paul. I don't know his last name, but I think he said he was from Halifax. Halifax Paul, I'll call him. But
I believe Paul Gamiri. Sorry, Paul, if we said your name wrong. Because you are like a super avid listener. I probably should know how to pronounce your last name. But But thank you for listening. And it was great seeing you again, as always.
It was super cool to meet him and have a lot of conversation. And it's good to see Jake again. Jake from the Jake episode.
Jake from the Jake episode.
The Jake episode. The climbing episode. Like, it was good to see him again. And yeah, it was awesome, man. It was
I'm glad you got to meet that whole crew with like Peter and Jake and Julie and Steve was there. Steve of Steve Eat Shit's fame.
Yeah, and Dave.
Steve from the Cape. Yeah, Dave and Dave Shits in the Woods was there. With,
yeah. That was cool, man. So yeah, I was working the room and you were just up there just belting it out, dude, letting it rip.
Yeah, and Lynn and Cindy. I think trying to think of anybody else that we saw that you met that you hadn't really met before. But yeah, there's probably other people that I'm gonna forget.
So many people.
But thanks, man. I appreciate it. It was super fun. I think a lot of people I was talking to didn't realize that I hadn't played out in like I think it had been like 7 years since I'd actually. Wow. I mean, I play for family and friends, like
right
on the not. I wouldn't say on the regular. Like I'll play when we're on vacation or like things like that. I definitely like don't ever. It's not like I don't play guitar and sing anymore in front of people, but a little different. Like bringing all the gear, and Josh was great too because I brought my whole PA. Stomp had the mic, so that was super helpful in all the stands. It's very appreciative of that. But yeah, like all the cables and sort of the PA and the stands for that PA system. I forgot how monstrous they are. They're huge and they're very easy if you don't pay attention to like break your hand or your finger the way they sort of work.
I bet.
But yeah, it was
half-price drinks all night because they thought I was part of the band. So
I mean, you helped.
It was good.
You helped.
I put the stickers out.
Yeah, you did put the stickers out. Yeah, we got those. But it was a ton of fun playing. Hopefully, can get involved in some of those events in the future for around the hiking community. Maybe do a couple of their gigs, or maybe even play some around here as well. But it was fun. I think I got the bug a little bit of like I miss it. To me, it's like even doing it more of an aspect of just sort of being an opening, sort of just adding ambiance, I guess, with some music and stuff. Like really enjoyed it. I forgot how much I kind of really enjoyed playing out like that and sort of having a purpose to practice for, if that makes sense. Like, even though I've been doing the stuff with Stomp, and I think we finally mentioned too that we've been working sort of on a song together. I think Stomp probably mentioned on the SLASR podcast, but we are working on sort of our own take on Hard Sun by Eddie Vedder off the Into the Wild soundtrack. So we played pretty much a straightforward cover of it at the event, but we do have sort of a Stomp. I'd say it's just sort of Stomp's brainchild as far as what's going on percussively and how he's producing it, and I've just sort of provided my guitar and vocals on it, and we've sort of been just sort of engineering this thing, and I'm excited to see what he does with it. Like we said, it's probably about 90% of the way there. I'm not sure exactly what the plan is for getting it out for people to listen to it. We're gonna figure that out, but that will be an upcoming musical thing in my musical periphery.
You guys crushed it playing together too. That was great, dude. It was fantastic.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We did get, and we kind of wanted to try to get together for another practice in between, but it just didn't happen between schedules and just life going on. But we did get together probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks previous, and we did sort of run through some of the songs we wanted to play together and figure that Hard Sun we knew that we definitely wanted to do. That's how sort of the whole thing started. Was he was like, hey, we could do Hard Sun at like the next SLASR live event. And I was like, sure. And then it sort of materialized into this, like, I'm going to open and play. And I'm super happy and grateful that it did, because it's encouraged me musically again. And it's just been super fun, like sitting in the studio with him and sort of being creative and playing guitar. It's been a part of myself I sort of forgot about a little bit, how much I enjoy doing that. So it's been great. A brief aside on the full conditions, but that's just some of the backstory of how that happened, I guess, and how I ended up getting involved.
Yeah, for sure. No, I thought that was cool. I thought it was real cool how that kind of all materialized.
Yeah, and obviously SLASR did a great job. You're going to be hearing the episode. Probably it'll be out before this episode's out, probably by a little bit, because they'll probably get it out tomorrow morning on their normal schedule. And we're a little backed up. We're trying to logistically work some stuff out over here with recording. But yeah, they did a great job. They had a bunch of great guests. They had Littlefoot. They had Ty Gagney, who talked about his new book, which I'm super excited about. That was cool. They had some folks from Mount Washington State Park, the COG, Rek Lis, the owners sort of talked. That was really cool to hear sort of their story about how they created the brewery and ended up there in Bethlehem. And I'm probably missing people. Oh, Cindy talked from the Alzheimer's Association. Lynn talked for Hiking Buddies. Yeah. Probably missing some other people, but it was
Mike had a whole presentation.
Oh yeah, Mike had his very well put together presentation on search and rescue that he sort of does every year. He sort of tallies up the incidents and goes into sort of different fun anomalies and things like that. And then Ken Bossy, who has 3 books sort of on hiking, who's Pastor Ken, sort of resident comedian / author, and all of his books proceeds sort of go to the search and rescue guys. But he did a nice little stand-up set that was pretty comical as well. Yeah. So it was a good time. It was a
great event, dude. Great event.
It was a lot of fun. We hung out a little bit after. I think Stomp was playing some music and stuff and just chatted up with people a little bit. Yeah, it was funny too, like, because there's people I'm like, oh, I want to get out and like talk to people. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm playing guitar, so I just need to kind of chill here. So it's nice to like, I kind of was trying to grab everybody later on and chat it up a bit. But yeah, man, a great time. We ended up grabbing dinner at Rek Lis, the actual food pub place. Or I guess building on the premises right before they closed with Deanna and Paul. So that was sort of a nice end of the night. I think we both ate some fried chicken sandwiches very quickly. Hopefully to Paul and Deanna, I really hope it wasn't that disgusting how quickly I think we consumed our food, because it was just so good.
Yeah.
They got some nachos and we're just like, they just having some bites of nachos. And we're just like, we just destroyed those chicken sandwiches. Yeah. So good.
Yeah. Because to that point, the only thing we had eaten all day was some rest stop common man breakfast sandwiches. Yeah, that's about it.
We're just eating like jerky and popcorn and stuff. I'm like, we could have got lunch somewhere, but it was like an in-between time. And I should mention too, they had some food at the Pint House, and Josh, you were kind enough to get me some like kielbasa dumplings, and they had potato. Was it like potato leek soup or something they had?
No, it was. Oh, I think they did have some of that, but I had the tomato soup.
Gotcha, tomato soup. So they did have a little bit of food there that we had in between.
Something to tie us
we needed something on after after a few beers and stuff.
Yeah. So no doubt. But yeah, it was great, man.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. Everybody, Rek Lis, great job. I mean, like Lynn was running around taking photos and videos, and she was sharing some of those out. So that was super cool. And thanks again, Mike and Stomp, and you guys did a great job. And I'm excited to be sort of, I guess, overlapping with them a little bit, and I guess there's plenty of room on the hiking scene, in the Northeast hiking podcast scene. Yeah, it's a shared space, but I'm glad shared space. I'm glad that we got to be there and participate in the event, and it was a blast.
For sure, thanks guys. And then the next day, you got me up to do it all over again, dude.
Yeah, we had to hike. We had time on the way home. We weren't doing anything else. I think immediately, this is just a true story too. I think we were hiking up Sugarloaf or something. And I was like, oh, what time? You don't need to be back early tomorrow, do or something to that effect. Like it wasn't even like actually the morning of Sunday yet. I was like, you're like, don't worry, Nick. I already talked to Melissa. Like, we don't have to be home super early. He's like, as long as we're in the afternoon, it's good. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we can hit like Bald Mountain and Artists Bluff, because you haven't done that, which I really thought you had for some reason. I don't know.
I had told Melissa before we left, before I left, I'm like, she was like, are you guys hiking on Sunday? I said, we haven't talked about it, but just prepare for the worst. I'm going to prepare for the worst. So you just prepare for the worst. And by the worst, I mean the best, because I just know. I knew there's no way, especially with the weather that morning, there was no way we were going home without doing one more hike.
So yeah, I figured we'd do Artists Bluff and Bald Mountain on the way home. Since you hadn't checked it out before, in my head, like I feel like a lot of people I've hiked with over the years, like I brought I brought like it's a new thing, but I've gone up there with everybody. So yeah, the weather was super nice on Sunday. It was a little bit nippy in the morning and breezy. Pretty much a clear day. You could see some clouds moving in over Franconia Ridge. We ended up checking out, I think it's literally just called like the Franconia Coffee House, right?
Yeah.
So we went by, grabbed, shout out to them. Some really good iced coffee and breakfast sandwiches to kick off the day again, because we didn't have enough breakfast sandwiches the day before. needed more breakfast sandwiches.
Much needed breakfast sandwich. It was delicious though, on a nice croissant.
Really good stuff. And we made our way down to the parking lot for Bald Mountain. Headed up Bald Mountain first. And it was funny that even though you could see like wind ripping clouds, I have a video that I'll share too of like ripping clouds over Franconia Ridge. So like clearly it was blowing really hard up there, but it wasn't really that bad on Bald Mountain like at all. I thought it'd be a little bit windier, especially after having been up there the previous weekend with Rylan and Ash. I kind of had in my head that it was going to be really cold. But as usual with up there was quite a few cars in the lot, but not that many people going up to Bald Mountain. No. So what do you think of heading up there versus the previous day and stuff?
I thought I don't know if Paul and Deanna were teasing me, telling me it was going to be tough, whatever, but it was much.
Them tease you? No.
Yeah, no way. But no, it was really nice. It was a lot rockier than I expected it to be, like a lot more. Definitely a lot more climbing on rock.
A little scrambly on the top before that top little last bit is all up ledge. Nothing crazy, but it is ledgy.
No, it wasn't crazy. It was real doable. It was enjoyable. It was nice because you kind of let me lead, so we got to kind of go at my pace. So I never really felt like exhausted or like out of breath. It was kind of.
I offered to let you lead on the Sugarloafs too. I'm going to clarify that to people.
Maybe you did. I don't know. I was. Yeah, I didn't sleep. I didn't get too much sleep the night before.
So people don't think I'm a slave driver.
Get mush, boy,
mush, Josh. Go.
But yeah, no, I thought it was cool, and I then we get to the top, and there's like these two little like 3-year-olds like up there with their mom and dad, and I'm like, wow, these kids are crushing it.
Yeah, and up there you've got probably the coolest view. I mean, it's similar to what's on Artists Bluff, but really, if you're looking off the summit, you can see everything sort of. It's not a complete 360. It's pretty close though. But starting sort of the northern side, and wrapping around, you kind of can see Garfield and the Twins. You can see Franconia Ridge with sort of the mound, whatever that mountain's called that has Artists Bluff, the actual ledge on it. Get all the ridge going, and then you got all Franconia Notch with Echo Lake. And then you can see Cannon. They were actually blowing snow on Cannon too on the slope. So it looks like they're going to hopefully meet their opening for the 29th. And then after that, you're basically looking towards Vermont and like sort of the Connecticut River Valley going across between New Hampshire and Vermont all the way up. And really, really great visibility. Could see everything. Could see Mansfield again and J Peak and whatnot. And it was cool up there. It's snapping. I've like one particularly epic photo of you that I'm looking forward to sharing.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe two from that spot that came out really cool.
Yeah, I know which one you're referring to. I won't spoil it.
Yeah, it was.
I won't spoil it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was nice. It was really nice up there. It wasn't as much like room as I thought there was going to be, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of craggy. There's a lot of different ledges from different spots up there, similar to Artists Bluff.
But yeah, then when we made our way to Artists Bluff, I was like confused like the entire time because I'm like, why do we keep going down?
Yeah, so they call it like the Artists Bluff Loop, and on all trails at least, it's like 1.5 miles and about 450 feet of gain. But you are doing sort of you go up and do an out and back to Bald Mountain, and then you're sort of going on the loop to Artists Bluff. You kind of go up and over that high point of that like little mountain or mound that sits where Artists Bluff is kind of perched along the side of it. But yeah, you kind of go up over there, and it's really mellow. I think it's actually steeper if you were coming from Artists Bluff to come back towards Bald Mountain
for sure
than the way that we went over it, because we were coming down and people were kind of asking us like, how steep is this going to get? Because it is a little rocky and eroded in a few spots.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you make your way down, and then down, and then a little back up to where the other path of the loop sort of intersects, and then you pop out on Artists Bluff, which is kind of it's a renowned and very popular spot in the Whites for good reason. I think this time of year, like it's probably more fun than if you're up there in the summer or like foliage. They had like some sort of crazy amount of cars and people on there, I guess, around Columbus Day weekend, the point that was almost like a hazard in the States thinking of ticketing. But if you go there in November, not too bad. We actually had it to ourselves when we were coming down.
Oh yeah. We were up there by ourselves for we stayed up there for a long time.
We took our time taking photos and hanging out and pointing out different things. And it was a beautiful day. The reflection of the sun off the lake was like intense.
Yeah, I think that's why it was so nice. It was like we were nice and warm. The sun was out. Like it was like just like the perfect temperature to just hang out. It really wasn't windy or anything.
30s, 40s or something in the morning. It wasn't bad at all.
No,
some layers. Awesome. Saw some rock climbers going up across the front too, coming up.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was neat watching them on the I guess sort of the southern facing side of Artists Bluff, up in the woods. And we had. What do you think of the view and stuff up there? Any better than Balls?
I thought it was fantastic. At every peak that we hit, I sent Melissa a bunch of photos, and that was the one where with Echo Lake in the background and all that stuff. Like she was like, "Wow, it looks like a painting. Like it's incredible."
Yeah, hence Artist Bluff for sure. But anybody that hasn't been up there, it is like you're looking straight down the pipe, so to speak, into Franconia Notch with Echo Lake in front of you and Franconia Ridge on your left and Cannon on your right with all the ski slopes and stuff rising out. You can kind of make out Liberty too, like dead center down the notch. It's like sort of just poking out the edge. And that kind of, similar views to Bald Mountain, but you're kind of more down in it. I guess it's a little bit lower in the notch.
Yeah.
So you just got a great perspective there, looking across Franconia Notch State Park, and it's easy to see why it's so popular, and it's a very easy climb too.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was great. It was great. It was a great weekend, man. I'm glad that we got a chance to do this together, and it kind of really makes me really intrigued or excited to maybe get out and do it again. Get out, go hike something else, go make a weekend out of it, and chill out.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, that's the thing. I know, like, a lot of times too, like, I'm bagging peaks for the 48 or things like that, but there are so many nice little hikes, relatively speaking, that you can group together and like really make a day. Like I said, if the weather wasn't as nice, if it was going to rain, like we probably would have checked out some waterfalls, but there's all sorts of stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that's not as popular. And I'm sure stuff that I don't even know about because it's more just locale based, that are really great little hikes like that. So, and yeah, man, I'd right back at you. I had a lot of fun, and we had a really smooth ride home. That's a nice thing when I'm like ready for shoulder season and more winter, because we did not hit, like, I think we got home, including a stop at Hooksett, in like around 3 hours or something like that. So
it was sweet.
It was not bad at all. Smooth sailing. And it was like 20 degrees warmer here than it was in Franconia Notch too.
Yeah.
So
by the time we got into like back into Massachusetts, I think we had rolled the windows down. Like,
yeah, I turned the heat off because we both had like our clothes on still. Well, our hiking clothes. We had clothes on.
yeah, sure, definitely clothes on, definitely.
Oh man.
You want to get to the descent, dude?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so tonight's descent is brought to you by Adventuristic Clothing. Adventuristic Clothing is a clothing company by our good friend Lori. She's running the whole ship over there, and she's got some fantastic winter designs that just dropped. And if you want to check them out, you can do so over at adventuristic.com. That's ADVENTRISTIQ, and you can use code PUDSPOD for 20% off your first order and free shipping. And you can tell them that Josh and Nick sent you. Adventuristic.
Tell them that we sent you.
Yeah, or let them know.
Let them know.
Because she'll know.
Yeah.
Because the code. Get it? Anyways.
Yeah. Once again, Christmas time. Don't be afraid to get us some Christmas gifts.
Don't be afraid. Yeah, she's got some nice new Columbia vests out too. That killer. I love vests.
Yeah. I'm looking at the sweaters. I like. There's a couple sweaters that I like. It might be time. Nick, I've been. Have you seen the trailer yet for Squid Game Season 2?
No, I haven't. Oh boy.
Oh man. Are you ready for Squid Game? Did you watch the original Squid Game?
I watched. Right? Yeah, I watched I actually watched it by myself, and then I watched it again with Ash. Yeah, so I watched it twice because I think it might have been one of those I was like just sick or something. I ended up just watching through all of it.
That's hilarious. I think I watched it twice, and the first time I watched it, I was like super sick, and then the second time I just watched it.
Yeah, similar stories, similar Squid Game stories.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How does it
season
look?
2.
I'll have to look it up.
Crazy as ever. December 26th.
Okay.
So, yeah, I keep your eye out. I really like. I think that took the world by storm when it first came out.
It absolutely did.
Loved it. I loved that. What a great concept it was. I thought it was such a cool idea. I think that really like helped turn the corner for me for like I think they call them K dramas. It's like Korean drama, Korean dramas. So like I've been consuming those left and right now. So, but yeah, December 26th, man. Squid Game season 2.
Cool.
How about you? Got anything to look forward to? Anything you've been watching?
So I really just been watching The Goat on Amazon Prime still. Nothing much new. I haven't gotten into any new Netflix documentaries. If you give me enough time, I'm sure I can find another one to watch. but yeah, I can maybe check out that one on the Red Sox that you and Paul were talking about.
Oh yeah,
the 2005 season.
Yeah, you definitely gotta do it.
Check that out.
Check that one out, dude.
But yeah, man, just The Goat with Daniel Toshinen on Prime. It's good. It's been entertaining. Cool. Yeah, man. Let's do it.
All right, Nick.
Josh.
A totally innocent man is sent to prison for 25 years, all for a crime he did not commit. The DNA evidence that indisputably proves his innocence does not emerge until he has completed his full sentence. So during those 25 years in prison, he kills 3 other inmates, sells drugs, is tangentially involved with the rape of another prisoner, mercilessly abuses a canine police dog, and steals food from other inmates on a regular basis. However, he was never caught doing any of these illegal acts. Upon his release from prison, he openly admits to doing all of these things. In fact, he brags about these activities to the media. Prison is a different culture, he explains. I did what I had to do to survive. So, Nick, you are the head of the penal system. You have just learned of this man's wrongful imprisonment and about all of the terrible things he did while in jail. Do you release him back into society, or do you attempt to charge him with the new crimes he claims to have committed during his prison stay?
I'm going to have to go with attempting to charge him with the new crimes. He sounds like not an upstanding citizen.
Well, this is the old catch-22, right? Yeah. Was he not an upstanding citizen before?
Or did prison make him that? Yeah.
Yeah, did prison turn him into that person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And wrongfully. And it was wrong. He was wrongfully put into the prison.
He was. And then he openly admitted to like a bunch of crimes, though.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's too intelligent.
I think I'm with you because it doesn't matter. Like, if a crime's a crime, like, if you're wrongfully imprisoned, I get it. You're going to come out and we're going to say, the penal system's going to say, oh, sorry about that. But at the same time, like, don't continue to commit crimes if that's not who you are. But if you're going to commit them, you can do all these things.
That's a long list. It's not like you like stole food or something. Like it's a long list of stuff and a lot of variety all over the spectrum of crime.
He killed 3 guys.
Yeah.
Raped another one.
Well, did they say like tangentially involved with the rape of another one?
Yeah, tangentially.
Like
whatever that means.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah, I think
I'm prosecuting him.
Gotta charge him. Oh man. Good stuff, brother. Good stuff.
Good stuff. I want to remind everybody that we've got a bunch of new stickers. Well, we did have a bunch, and they're dwindling quickly, man. I've been shipping out a couple envelopes a day, and I'm happy that people want them, and we're happy to give them to people. That's what we got them for, and we got rid of quite a few at Rek Lis. But yeah, I've got nice new stickers with our new logo on it that Lori designed, And one of them's like a bigger holographic one, and one of them's like a matte smaller one. So if you do send out and you reach out to us either on Facebook or Instagram with your name and address, we'll ship you one of each of those while they last. And
if you were at the Rek Lis
them on whatever you want to.
You already got some, so.
Yep. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully you got some from the Rek Lis event. But yeah, so hit us up. Find us on social media at PUDs Podcast. You can message us on there. We'll get those stickers out to you. Yeah. So
check our videos out on YouTube.
Yeah. We are PUDs Podcast on. I think it's PUDs_podcast on YouTube. So check us out there. And yeah, anything else?
No, I don't think so. Shoot us some fan mail.
Yeah,
reach out. We're hearing a lot of good things. We appreciate all the kind words too. A lot of people have been asking for stickers. Have been like, "Hey, like we enjoy listening," and I'm like, "Thanks for listening. It's super cool."
That's awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We enjoy doing this thing, and it's cool to be a part of the, as you were saying, sort of the little hiking community up in New Hampshire, the big little hiking community up in New Hampshire in the Whites. So
as much as
we're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, as much as we do this for us, we really do it for you, the people.
Yeah, that's what Josh says on the air. He just likes being on podcasts. I only have one podcast. You have two.
I know. I just like being on podcasts. I've said it on
SLASR, I guess, twice, but yeah. No, we do it for the people.
Yeah, for sure. Well, happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, man. We're a week out.
To all you people out there too.
Hope you guys enjoy. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Just the listeners, nobody else.
That's it.
No, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Everybody enjoy. Eat lots of turkey or whatever you eat, and have fun.
Yeah. Until next time, bippity boppity, give me the zoppity.
Bye.
PUDs Podcast was produced and recorded in Black Hat Studios by the Pud Boys. Find us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving us a review and subscribing. Find us on social media, and we'll see you next time.